Hey guys, so today we'll be talking about how do you get an invite to the Matric Awards ceremony by the Minister of Basic Education. I'll be sharing my experience from the moment I got the invite, the awards themselves, and even after. I'll also be telling you how they calculate the final Matric mark and what you require in order to be part of the Matric Awards ceremony. So make sure that if you're a student, whether in primary, secondary school, or even in Matric, you watch this video until the end, because I'll be providing value and equipping you so that you can be ready to be a Matric top achiever. So point number one, let's talk about how many students get invited to the Matric Awards ceremony and how many categories are there. So it's 10 categories, and in each category they take the top 3 students. Therefore 30 students in total get invited to the Matric Awards ceremony. Here are the 10 categories in which you can be part of, right? So they take the top 3 performing students in each category. So I wrote the categories down so that I don't forget, so I'll be reading down. So you can be part of the top performing students in maths, in physical sciences, in technical maths, in technical sciences, in quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, quartile 4, and quartile 5, and the SASL top performing learners. So now let's break down the different categories, right? So the first 4, it's simple to understand. You can either be a top performing learner in maths, physical sciences, technical maths, or technical sciences. And then you get the 5 quartiles. So most people have been asking, Blessing, what do you mean by quartiles, and can you please break down what they mean by quartiles? So quartiles is basically a way to categorize the schools based on which one is the poorest and which one is the less poorer school, right? So quartile 1 is the poorest schools, quartile 5 is the less poor schools. So from quartile 1 to quartile 3, they usually classify them as non-fee schools, meaning that the people who go there don't pay any school fees. But quartile 4 and 5, they can pay fees because those kids come from families which are not poor, they come from like middle class schools. So it's basically categorizing schools that the communities whereby quartile 1 schools are located, it's communities whereby it's a low income end, right? And as you go to quartile 5, the communities that quartile 5 schools are in is communities whereby people there are more of like middle class. So that's how they classify the schools, right, based on quartiles. So you can find out which quartile your school is in by asking your teachers or your principal, right? And in each quartile there's top 3 students, so they take the top performing students in each quartile, top 3, and then they get awards. And the SASL category is basically for those students who are deaf. They have their own category whereby they get awarded. The top 3 students get awarded. So you can either be part of these 10 categories. There's number 1, number 2, and also number 3. So make sure that you do your research on which category you want to be in, if you want to be specific, and set your goals based on that category. If you want to be the top performing students in maths, then you must make sure that your maths mark is 100% throughout the year, right? And if you want to be the top performing students in physical sciences, then you have to make sure that your physical sciences mark is great throughout the year. And point number 2, people usually ask, Blessing, do you need to get 100% the entire year in your assessments to get 100% in accounting, for example? Because I got 100% in accounting, and people always ask, did you get 100% the entire year, right? So that's not the case. How they calculate your final mark is 25% of your SBA, school-based assessments, and 75% of your final mark, right? So that's how they calculate your final mark. So if you didn't get 100% throughout the year, you see that your SBA mark will be a bit lower. Therefore, it's possible for you to get 100%. But that's not the case, because what they do is, if there's a difference of about 10% between your SBA mark and your final mark, let's say your SBA mark, all your assessments that you wrote at school, your school-based assessments, you got let's say 60% as your SBA mark, and you go into the exam, you get 100% in the exam. Let's say you get 300 out of 300 in accounting, Therefore, they're going to drop your SPA mark, and the mark you're going to see in your certificate is that 100% for the final exam. So if you have been performing poorly throughout the year and you manage to get a very high mark in your final exam, you're going to see that mark in your certificate and not your SPA mark. So make sure that even if during the year you went performing okay, don't be discouraged. Push harder so that in that exam you're able to get a good mark and you're able to get a good mark in your certificate. Now let's talk about my experience of being a matric top achiever, getting the invite, the awards themselves, and even after. So usually your results come out around the last week or the second last week of Jan, and it's usually on a Monday. So you get the invite the previous week on a Friday, so it's only like 2 days before, and you get the invitation obviously through your school, right? So the Department of Education or the Minister of Basic Education's office will call the school, and the school will give them your parents' contact details, and they'll call your parents directly on a Friday and tell them, okay, cool, we're one of the top performing students selected to appear on TV, right, to go to the Matric Awards ceremony with the Minister of Basic Education. And after informing you, you have to prepare obviously, and the day before the results come out, that's when the awards happen, right? So they'll send a car to your place and then they'll pick you up. You'll go to the awards. When you get to the awards, obviously you get to interact with other top performing students. You also get to interact with like people who work in the Department of Basic Education. And later that day the awards happen, so you basically sit on stage whereby there are cameras, you are aired on TV. The Minister of Basic Education announces the results province by province and also gives you guys awards, right? That okay, you were #1 in quartile 1, you were #1 in mathematics, #2 in physical sciences. So that's basically it. You get nice food. So for me, when I got the call, I was in shock, obviously, right? A part of me was expecting it, but a part of me wasn't expecting it because I was like, I didn't write the correct things only in my exam, right? I was doubting myself, but a part of me was expecting it. When I got it, it was like a dream come true. I didn't believe it. I didn't share it with anyone, even my extended family, right? I only told them on that day that, oh, guys should open SABC 1, right? So I was just telling people like, okay, cool, you guys should watch the awards, you know, every day. I knew that I was gonna be there, but I didn't tell them directly because it was some kind of shock to me. I still didn't believe that it was real, right? And I went to the awards ceremony. Even after the awards themselves, even after airing on TV, trending in my neighborhood, most people posting me, still couldn't believe it, right? It took maybe like a good week or two for it to sink in. Even when I got to varsity, that's when it sinked in, because some people recognized, yeah, we saw you on TV and this and that. So it was a nice experience. You get a lot of opportunities when you're there. You get to interact with people from different companies. Some of them offer you bursaries on the spot. So it's really a nice experience. It's really a nice thing to experience if you've worked hard, right? You see the results of your hard work. So I encourage you guys to study hard if you're in matric, or even if you're still in high school, secondary school. Make sure that you make this your goal and you set your targets each year and you push towards being a matric top achiever. So as I said, most of the experience was based on my experience in 2020. So in 2020, the awards happened in one day and we went back home the same day, right? And the following day we had to go to the provincial awards ceremony. Now if you go to the national awards ceremony, you automatically go to the provincial awards ceremony. So the following day we went to the matric awards ceremony, whereby we also were awarded and we got a couple of bursaries over there. So it was really a nice experience. We got multiple laptops, so it's really a nice experience. Make sure that you work hard and you achieve greatness, right? So my aim with this video is to just tell you that you can do it. If I could do it, a kid from the township, you can do it as well. So make sure that you hit that like button so that you help me with the algorithm, and at the same time drop a comment if you have any question you want me to cover, anything. Subscribe, share the video with someone who's in matric or who's in school so that they can find value in this video. Cheers.